All right, welcome again. Today I'm going to be showing you all a $2 bill of President's Day. So if you've been following me along, I've been showcasing some of the $2 bills that I received about a month ago. The last video I did was on the Paul Revere, no, scratch that, the Boston Tea Party 250th anniversary, April, I forget the date, sorry, I'm going to say April 18th, 1775. So that's 250 years ago, coming up. And then prior to that was the Paul Revere Midnight Ride. That was in 1773. So when that came out, I guess in 2023, it was the 250th anniversary of that infamous ride, or that famous ride. So today I'm going to show you the $2 bill. That's called President's Day, and I'll show that to you now. And bam, look at that. All right, it's got George Washington on one end, Abraham Lincoln on the other end, and Thomas Jefferson in the middle. Right? So interesting story. Well, I wouldn't say it's a story, but when I was in elementary school and junior high school, and maybe during high school, I graduated high school in '84. So these days, schools, the kids get President's Day, right? So it's all the presidents. They get a day for all the presidents. When I was growing up or going to school, we would have George Washington Day and Abraham Lincoln Day. So we would get 2 Mondays back to back in the month of February, which we always were looking forward to, right? So, honoring them too. But these days they combined it. You still see some remnants of George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Like I notice a lot of car commercials. There'll be someone dressed up as Abraham Lincoln and someone dressed up as George Washington, and they have the President's Day sale. So yeah, so too bad for the kids. Although they get other days now that we didn't have when we were growing up. But I also want to share some information on the 3 presidents there on that $2 bill, and let me transition over to me so you can see my beautiful face and my smooth talking. So I got here my books of the presidents. So let's start with Georgie boy. A number 1. So when George Washington became president in 1790, the population of the United States was 3,929,214. And when he vacated, when his terms are up, it was in 1797, it was 4,883,209. So, and he was born February 22nd, hence the day we got off. It wasn't actually the 22nd, I think we get off that Monday following his birthday. It's been a while. And he died in 1799 on December 14th. All right, so that's George Washington. Let's do Thomas Jefferson. Another weird thing, I always get confused. Who's the second, who's the third president, right? Second president is John Adams. The third president is Thomas Jefferson. So I would always try to remember, yeah, Thomas Jefferson's on this $2 bill, but he's not the second president, he's the third president. So I would always remember it backwards, right? That's how I would remember it. So maybe they should have made a $3 bill instead of a $2 bill, right? But anyway, let's do Thomas Jefferson, born April 13th. His birthday is coming up, 1743. Died on July 4th, 1826. As you know, if you don't know, Thomas Jefferson was the writer of the Declaration of Independence. So 50 years after the Declaration of Independence, he died. Right? Pretty crazy. What's even crazier is John Adams, the second president of the United States, also a founding father, died on the same day, July 4th, 1826. And Thomas Jefferson and John Adams were bitter rivals. Right? Even though they were founding fathers, they were pro, United States of America, pro-colonies, they still were bitter rivals. But it's pretty crazy to think they both died on the same day of the, July 4th, and both of these guys are founding fathers and signed the Declaration of Independence, were bitter rivals, and they died within hours of each other. So, pretty weird how history works. You know, there's a lot of overlapping. And then even the next one, even with Lincoln, right? Honest Abe. Let's look at Honest Abe here, number 16. He was always easy to remember because my birthday falls on the 16th. So when Honest Abe became president, the population of the United States in 1861 was 32,350,627. And when he died and when he was assassinated in 1865, it was 35,700,678. So he was born February 12th. So there you go. So that's why we had the 2 days in the month of February. Forgot to mention that when Thomas Jefferson was president, he oversaw the purchase of the Louisiana Purchase. And, you know, population went up by 2 million. I don't know what it is by percentages, but that's a big jump. And the land size obviously was a big amount of land. So the interesting fact about where Abraham Lincoln ties in with George Washington, I may be getting this wrong, but I believe, and all for you history buffs out there, you correct me if I'm wrong, you can tell me in the comment, let me know. George Washington had a stepson. That stepson had a girl, and that girl wound up marrying Robert E. Lee, right? And Robert E. Lee was the Confederate general that was against the Union Army that Abraham Lincoln was the commander-in-chief of. So all these little things, you know, overlap each other, and there's all these intertwining stories. So it's pretty amazing that that these three people are somehow connected in some weird way. Maybe not with each other, but somehow they got some strange stories. And you know, there's the old one with, well, not the old one, the one with Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. I mean, there's some similarities there will blow your mind. You should definitely check that out if you're not aware of them. All right, with that, I'm going to sign off. Enjoy the rest of your day. Subscribe to my channel. I'll greatly appreciate it. Like, dislike, comment, whatever you want to do. No hard feelings. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.